In a world where SUVs dominate the roads, the choices can be overwhelming. Some models promise adventure and comfort, while others leave drivers feeling frustrated and disappointed. As we step into 2025, the landscape of SUVs is more competitive than ever. But not every vehicle is worth your hard-earned money. Are you ready to discover which SUVs to steer clear of? In this video, we'll explore the 5 worst SUVs that you definitely shouldn't buy this year, highlighting their reliability issues, poor performance, and disappointing owner satisfaction ratings. But it's not all doom and gloom. We'll also reveal the 5 best SUVs that offer exceptional value and dependability, ensuring your investment pays off for years to come. Join us as we navigate through the highs and lows of the SUV market in 2025, because making an informed choice is crucial for your next vehicle purchase. First, let's talk about Volkswagen Taos. For the Volkswagen Taos, reliability has remained a concern. Consumer Reports has recently ranked it among the least reliable cars for 2024, just outscoring the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. Currently, in its 2025 model, the Taos reverted its design with an enhanced 174 horsepower engine. But problems in handling have lessened the car's appeal to American drivers. Yes, the new 2025 Taos has some improvements, which include a standard 8-inch infotainment touchscreen, depending on the trim level, yet it is $1,000 more expensive than the 2024 Taos, which makes it a big no. Unfortunately, for many customers, the increased price does not compensate for the unreliable performance seen in other benchmarks in 2025. For this SUV, reliability and value do not make the equation. Next is the Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer has fallen foul of negative criticism regarding leasing arrangements. Cars Direct lists the 2025 Explorer at the bottom of the list as one of the worst SUVs for leasing now, featuring current offers. This makes it less attractive for those who want to own a new car and then lease the next new car. As the above reveals, people rent their vehicles and then sell and lease the next one. According to RepairPal, the fix and maintenance costs are still average. However, the reliability of the Explorer is quite low, ranking 19 out of 26 mid-size SUVs. Alongside its unattractive leasing offers, this model is an SUV that consumers should consider twice in 2025. At number 3, the Jeep Grand Cherokee is renowned for its lack of reliability and low fuel economy. This Jeep also received a poor reliability rating compared to the previous years. Just this January, Consumer Reports gave Jeep the lowest reputation score on the dependability of car brands. Subpar reliability also impacts those models. They are both the regular Grand Cherokee and its larger 3-row sibling, the Grand Cherokee L, which received low scores in all categories. Worsening the situation, these models lack efficiency and fuel consumption, as the Grand Cherokee uses about 20 miles per gallon. At the same time, the Grand Cherokee L is slightly even worse at 19 miles per gallon. When the vehicles have reliability problems and questionable fuel economy, these SUVs will become unattractive family cars in 2025. At number 4 is the Land Rover Discovery, which comes with a high cost of maintenance and several difficulties that arise when operating on city roads. The off-roader car is comfortable with modern interior trims and fashion, and performs excellently like a Land Rover Discovery. However, these technologically rich features are not cheap to produce or make available in a vehicle. Just answer self-driving mechanic. Chris Pyle has pointed out that the Discovery model fleets are relatively costly in terms of the price of parts and required services. Not surprisingly, the Discovery is far from being comfortable off-roading only. However, on the roads, it does rather poorly for a car intended for the concrete jungle nonetheless. To those who mostly drive in the city, this high cost and below average MPG make this SUV unattractive to them in 2025. Last on our avoidance list, the Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid. Experts from Edmunds and Motor Trend have appreciated the design and features of the Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid. However, Consumer Reports has raised reliability issues. The publication assigned its 2024 model a dismal reliability of 21 out of 100. Some problems observed include the EV battery issue, the issue with electrical accessories, and the in-car electronics issue. Potential buyers should be careful as the expectations are pinned to the 2025 model. Its high price may not be related to the performance and reliability problems noted in previous models. It is doubtful that a consumer can justify the expense for a consistently good hybrid car. Speaking of good cars, the next section will introduce SUVs that not only outperform these troubled models, but also deliver on their promises of reliability and value. Stay tuned because the next SUV might just be the perfect fit for you. And now we're going to shift gears and talk about an SUV that's everything the previous ones weren't. Starting off with a strong kick, the 2025 Buick Envista, a slick, subcompact fastback SUV that replaces the potato-like Buick Encore as the entry-level vehicle in Buick's lineup. Meant to challenge such subcompact SUVs as the Chevrolet Trax, the Mazda CX-30, and the Volkswagen Taos, the Buick's design suggests that it should cost more than any of them. Yet, it undercuts both the Mazda and VW. And while its appearance promises speediness, its reality leans more toward lethargy. The Envista's handling is poised, but it tips the scales at 3,137 pounds, while its tiny turbocharged 1.2-liter three-cylinder power plant produces a mere 137 horsepower. That's a recipe for adequate acceleration to about 50 miles per hour. The Envista comes only with front-wheel drive, so it's built for the urban jungle, not the verdant one. You'll be delighted with the Envista's roominess, flat rear passenger floor, and standard equipment, which includes wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, an 8.0-inch digital instrument cluster, an 11.0-inch infotainment touchscreen, automatic high-beam headlamps, and lane keeping assist, all for less than $25,000. We liked it enough to bestow it with a 2024 Editor's Choice Award. That said, if you need all-wheel drive in a Buick, it'll cost $2,505 more for the smaller Encore GX. New features on the 2025 Buick Envista include standard remote start and rear parking assist on all trims. There's also a new paint color, aquamarine blue metallic. Nothing else changes in the Envista's sophomore year, as it was an all-new nameplate for Buick for 2024, replacing the Encore as the brand's entry-level model. The price of the 2025 Buick Envista starts at $23,995 and goes up to $29,695 depending on the trim and options. The Avenir model comes with pretty nickel-finished 19-inch wheels, a mesh grille, and other upscale styling elements that make it look a lot more expensive than its price would suggest. Unfortunately, none of the Envista's trims come with available all-wheel drive or a more powerful engine. All Envistas come with the same engine, a Lilliputian turbocharged 1.2-liter three-cylinder that makes 137 horsepower. All-wheel drive is not available, so all models drive the front wheels through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Acceleration feels perky enough for casual around-town driving, but step on the throttle hard to call up power for highway passing, and the Envista feels more lethargic. It takes a second or two for the turbocharger to spool up and push the Envista ahead in earnest, which feels to the driver like the engine is taking a slow, deep breath before moving ahead with any urgency. But the Envista's vibe isn't about speed or nipping apexes. Instead, it's built for loping along comfortably and quietly, handling confident and poised with a well-controlled ride, precise steering, and a firm brake pedal. At our test track, the Envista needed 9.3 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour. It reaches 50 miles per hour in a more acceptable 6.7 seconds, but after that, the turbocharged 3 simply runs out of steam. The EPA estimates that the Envista should be good for 28 miles per gallon city and 32 miles per gallon highway. On our 75 mile per hour highway fuel economy test route, which is an integral part of our extensive testing regimen, the Envista delivered exactly on its 32 mile per gallon promise. Inside, the Envista offers a cabin that's roomy for 4, and the chic coupe-like roofline doesn't noticeably cut into rear seat headroom. Interior materials aren't luxury grade, but compared to rivals such as the Nissan Kicks and the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, the Buick more than measures up. It also offers plenty of convenience features and desirable tech gadgetry, including a large glass panel on the dashboard that houses both a digital gauge display and an infotainment touchscreen. The top-spec Avenir gets the fanciest interior and rises to near the top of the class in terms of ambience. But this is no competitor to an Audi, BMW, or Mercedes-Benz. Important for a vehicle where practicality is a given, it can haul 20 cubic feet of gear, 42 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. Payload is rated at 1,088 pounds. At number 2, calling something cheap can sound like an insult, so instead we'll say that the Chevy Trax has an attractively low starting price, which is a crucial part of its appeal. This subcompact SUV is one of the most affordable new vehicles of any kind you can buy, and it has a high value quotient and plenty of substance thanks to a spacious interior and pleasant driving experience that belies its sticker price. It makes some sacrifices compared with pricier competitors. Its 137 horsepower 3-cylinder engine isn't exactly a scorcher, and front-wheel drive is the only setup available, but it makes up for those deficiencies with lots of standard features and attractive styling inside and out. That's why we chose it for our 2025 10 Best Trucks list, and why it remains a smart buy for anyone looking for a practical, affordable, and highly appealing new car. The Trax adds two new exterior colors, Cypress Gray and Marina Blue Metallic, and its engine is now capable of running on E85 fuel. The price of the 2025 Chevrolet Trax starts at $21,495 and goes up to $25,395 depending on the trim and options. The Chevy Trax offers some promising extras without coming close to breaking the bank. The LT is the sweet spot between affordability and features. The LT comes with a big 11.0-inch infotainment touchscreen and remote start, and we'd spend the extra cash for the optional heated front seats and steering wheel. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are also standard on LT and up, which makes navigation and playing music from your smartphone a breeze. The Trax has a modest powertrain consisting of a 137-horsepower turbocharged 1.2-liter inline 3-cylinder engine, a 6-speed automatic transmission, and front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive isn't available even as an option. The Trax gets off the line with enough gusto to avoid feeling sluggish around town, but you'll notice the lack of power when merging or passing on the freeway. Still, we prefer its conventional 6-speed automatic over the continuously variable transmissions found in many of its rivals, as this transmission shifts smoothly and avoids the droning found in CVT-equipped competitors such as the Honda HR-V and Subaru Crosstrek. Handling is decidedly car-like, and the Trax feels more agile than many of its rivals. Its brake pedal feels reassuringly firm underfoot, and the steering is predictable and relatively communicative given its basic transportation mission. The Trax got to 60 miles per hour in 8.8 seconds in our testing, which is slower than some competitors but acceptable by the admittedly low-performance standards of the subcompact SUV segment. The 2025 Chevy Trax has EPA estimated ratings of 28 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per gallon on the highway. Those are about the same as the non-turbo Mazda CX-30, although the CX-30 has all-wheel drive and the Trax is front-wheel drive only. The Trax gets better fuel economy around the city than the Hyundai Kona. On our 75-mile-per-hour highway fuel economy route, the Trax returned 30 miles per gallon. For more information about the Trax's fuel economy, visit the EPA's website. The Trax has a pleasant enough and easy-to-use interior with a good amount of space for drivers and passengers. Its driver-facing infotainment screen and climate controls are neatly placed, and the rest of the interior is made up of the unexceptional materials expected in this affordable segment. Compared with the old model, the Trax has a longer wheelbase than before, which has resulted in additional rear legroom and more cargo space. Its driving position also feels much lower this time around and more car-like, which we consider a plus. While tech luxuries such as remote start, heated front seats and steering wheel, and a sunroof are trim-dependent, these features help liven up the cabin. Rolling in at number 3, while we can't help but miss the first-generation Kona's playful driving personality, this grown-up second-gen Hyundai crossover manages to improve in terms of comfort and utility without taking too much of a performance hit. Once again offered with a choice of 4-cylinder engines, the Kona shines brightest with the available 190-horsepower turbocharged 1.6-liter rather than the base 147-horsepower 2.0-liter 4. We dig the Star Wars helmet styling, and the interior is cleanly executed with a good mix of screens and physical controls. The Kona is also big on standard and available tech, and those who want it can add all-wheel drive to any trim. Competitors include the Kia Niro, with which it shares a platform, and which is offered as either a standard hybrid or plug-in. The thoroughly modern 10 best-winning Chevrolet Trax is also well worth a look, as is Mazda's sporty, near-premium CX-30 subcompact. Hyundai also sells a battery-powered Kona Electric, which we review separately. After a thorough redesign for 2024, the Kona sees some trim-level shuffling and the addition of a new N-Line S trim that slots below the N-Line. It does without the latter's premium audio system, adaptive cruise control, and sunroof, among other features, but it retains the 190-horsepower 4-cylinder. The SEL trim with convenience package is now a standalone trim called Logically SEL Convenience. The price of the 2025 Hyundai Kona starts at $25,745 and goes up to $33,295 depending on the trim and options. Since the SE and SEL models come with the base powertrain, we'd pay more to upgrade to the N-Line with its standard Turbo 4. In addition to the upgraded engine, the N-Line also comes with all of the features from the SEL convenience trim, which includes a 12.3-inch infotainment display, a separate 12.3-inch digital gauge display, heated front seats, a wireless smartphone charging pad, onboard Wi-Fi, adaptive cruise control with a lane centering feature, and much more. If you want to do without several niceties like a sunroof, the N-Line S is a viable alternative because it retains the perky turbocharged 190 horsepower four-cylinder. The Kona's entry-level powertrain is a 147 horsepower 2.0-liter paired with a continuously variable transmission, a turbocharged 190 horsepower 1.6-liter engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission is optional. All-wheel drive is available on all trims. Handling remains sprightly despite the Kona's growth spurt, but the larger second-generation model has lost a little bit of its on-road sharpness. On our test track, a Kona with the optional turbo engine and all-wheel drive hit 60 miles per hour in 7.5 seconds, which is just behind the 7.3-second run of the previous generation model, which was lighter and used a dual-clutch automatic transmission instead of the new model's conventional auto. We're fine with that because the new model's automatic provides smoother, more refined acceleration and stoplight getaways. While we haven't yet tested a Kona with the base 2.0-liter engine, we don't expect to beat the last generation car's languid 9.2-second 60-mile-per-hour time by much, if at all. The EPA rates the Kona's fuel economy as high as 29 miles per gallon city and 34 miles per gallon highway, but add all-wheel drive and the more powerful turbo engine, and those numbers drop to 24 miles per gallon city and 29 miles per gallon highway. On our 75-mile-per-hour highway fuel economy route, the turbocharged Kona N-Line did well and delivered 31 miles per gallon. The Kona's interior is adequately roomy for a vehicle this size, though the rear seat is far from capacious for adults. The interior design is handsomely futuristic but also well laid out, with a widescreen encompassing the instrumentation and infotainment, and a column-mounted shifter. Leather upholstery is available. The cargo bay can swallow 7 carry-on size boxes behind the second row, and 20 boxes with the rear seat folded. Nearing the end of our list of the best SUVs, Kia offers its urban-friendly Niro SUV with either a standard hybrid powertrain or a slightly more powerful plug-in version. Acceleration is tepid with the standard hybrid powertrain, although the plug-in version wakes up a bit thanks to a larger electric motor. Neither model is particularly engaging to drive, but that's often the case with efficiency-focused models. Despite missing its EPA ratings by a wide margin in our testing, the Niro nonetheless goes easy on fuel, and the plug-in's 33-mile electric range should cover a lot of commutes and errand running. In addition to its quirky exterior styling, the Niro has an attractive modern interior design, and top trims come nicely equipped with convenience and tech features. The Niro's baby hybrid competition comes from the Toyota Corolla Cross, which is similarly efficient and similarly uninteresting to drive. Kia keeps the Niro's changes minimal for 2025. The blacked-out C-pillar, Kia calls it an aero blade, that was offered on select trims is no longer. Bummer. SX Touring Fiat EVs now include the cold weather package, including an auxiliary heater and heated rear seats, as standard equipment. The price of the 2025 Kia Niro Hybrid starts at $28,365 and goes up to $42,165 depending on the trim and options. We think the EX Touring trim represents the best value. It comes with a host of desirable features that aren't available on the base LX trim, including a sunroof, fog lamps, rain-sensing windshield wipers, 18-inch wheels, and the larger 10.3-inch infotainment display. A full EV model is also available, but we review that one separately. The Niro Hybrid is powered by a 139 horsepower powertrain that consists of a 1.6-liter four-cylinder and an electric motor. A 6-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission is standard, and the Niro is offered exclusively with front-wheel drive. A plug-in hybrid powertrain adds a more powerful electric motor to the mix for a combined 180 horsepower. Neither model is particularly exciting to drive, but the plug-in hybrid offers perkier acceleration. A Niro PHEV reached 60 miles per hour in 7.5 seconds at our test track. The standard hybrid hit 60 miles per hour in a languid 8.9 seconds. The plug-in hybrid variant comes with an 11.1 kilowatt-hour battery pack that should be good for around 33 miles of electric driving range per charge. Kia says that when the car is connected to a level 2 charger, the battery can be refilled in less than 3 hours. In our testing, the plug-in hybrid managed to cruise for 25 miles on the highway on electric power before resorting to the gas engine for additional range. According to the EPA, the Niro Hybrid is rated at up to 53 miles per gallon city and 54 miles per gallon highway, but that applies only to base LX trim. All others are rated for 53 miles per gallon city and 45 miles per gallon highway. On our 75-mile-per-hour highway fuel economy test route, the Niro Hybrid EX Touring managed only 39 miles per gallon. The Niro plug-in hybrid returned 37 miles per gallon in the same test. For more information about the Niro's fuel economy, visit the EPA's website. A sculptural interior design creates a contemporary feel inside the Niro. Kia has used recycled materials and natural fibers, such as eucalyptus leaves for the headliner and upholstery. Passenger space is snug, but the Niro is a small crossover after all, and it offers enough space for 4 adults, and its cargo area is big enough for a large grocery run. Ambient interior lighting lends an upscale touch, and a rotary shift knob is similar to what you'd find in a Genesis luxury car. In our testing, we fit 8 carry-on suitcases behind the Niro Hybrid's rear seats and 20 with the rear seats folded. The plug-in hybrid model held slightly less as its battery cannibalizes some of the cargo space, but we still fit 6 carry-ons behind the rear seats and 18 in total. Last, but not the least on our list, the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek looks more adventure-ready than it actually is, but it still offers more off-road capability than many of the SUVs that it competes against in the subcompact class. The Subi boasts up to 9.3 inches of ground clearance, standard all-wheel drive, and a fuel-efficient 4-cylinder engine. The base model's 2.0-liter mill makes a tepid 152 horsepower, while all other trims get a 2.5-liter with 182 ponies. Neither engine provides eager forward momentum, but casual drivers will find them suitable for commuting and road tripping. Same for the Crosstrek's workmanlike handling. Inside, the Crosstrek is comfortable and practical, but also far from fancy. If you're someone seeking the finer things and if responsive handling is on your wish list, you'd be better off shopping other offerings such as the Mazda CX-30 or Volkswagen Taos. After undergoing a full redesign for the 2024 model year, the Crosstrek rolls into 2025 with few changes. The uprated 182 horsepower 4-cylinder engine is now standard on all but the base model Crosstrek, but that's the only change reported for the popular SUVs lineup this year. The price of the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek starts at $27,115 and goes up to $33,915 depending on the trim and options. We'd recommend the premium trim. Its nominal upcharge unlocks the more powerful 4-cylinder engine, the larger 11.6-inch infotainment display, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration, and roof rail crossbars. The Crosstrek comes with a 152 horsepower, 2.0-liter 4-cylinder as standard, but all other models except for the base model come with a more powerful 182 horsepower, 2.5-liter 4. A continuously variable automatic transmission, CVT, is the only transmission option. As on most other Subaru models, all-wheel drive is standard. The Crosstrek's chassis isn't taking cues from Subaru's sporty WRX sports sedan. We'd called its on-road personality relaxed. It's a soft-riding crossover, and while its cornering capabilities are likely far more than its intended buyer will ever exploit, it doesn't offer the same level of driving enjoyment as the Mazda CX-30 or the Volkswagen Taos. The Crosstrek can probably do more off-roading than those crossovers, though, as it boasts at least 8.7 inches of ground clearance and comes with hill descent control and hill start assist features. The Wilderness trim offers 9.3 inches of ground clearance and wears more aggressive all-terrain tires. During our initial test drive, we sampled some of the Crosstrek's capabilities on some rutted 2 tracks and light off-road trails in Joshua Tree National Park outside Palm Springs, California. On those sorts of trails, it does just fine. When we tested a limited model with the 182 horsepower 4-cylinder engine, it recorded a rather lazy 8.1 second time to 60 miles per hour. The Wilderness model, with its all-terrain tires and rugged styling accoutrement, needed half a second more to hit 60 miles per hour. The model we tested with the 152 horsepower 4 was even slower, needing 9.5 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour. In today's marketplace, there's no other word for that than slow. According to the EPA, the Crosstrek is rated for up to 27 miles per gallon city and 34 miles per gallon highway depending on the configuration. On our 75-mile-per-hour highway fuel economy route, the Crosstrek with the base engine managed an impressive 36 miles per gallon, but we also got 35 miles per gallon with the more powerful engine, so there's not much penalty for going with the 2.5-liter variant. The Wilderness model managed only 27 miles per gallon in the same test. The Crosstrek is about as spacious and cargo-friendly as many of its subcompact rivals, and Subaru has installed some comfortable front seats and enough sound-deadening materials to do a reasonable job of damping noises and quelling vibrations. The interior is overtly utilitarian, so we think that buyers seeking a more designer look will feel shortchanged by the Subaru's straightforward style. Leather is optional, and higher Higher-end models have patterned inserts in the seats, highlighted with silver stitching, but lower trims come with plain cloth upholstery. The front doors have deep pockets for storing water bottles and other loose items, and the cargo area offers 20 cubic feet of space with the rear seats up and 55 cubic feet with the rear seats folded down. Hope you liked this video. If you haven't done so far, please hit the subscribe button